A beauty salon owner said she's losing clients left and right after she went on a viral rant about Trump supporters. She called them every name in the book, homophobic, racist, all the things. This is happening in Idaho, a very conservative state. And this woman, her name's Tiffany, or Tiffany actually, Tiffney. Tiffany, she has decided to blast her political opinions all over the internet following Trump's election. Now, the first video we're going to watch, there's a video where she's just posted right after the election saying she doesn't care if she loses a Trump supporter's business. This is wild. Let's watch.
So this is me suffering the consequences of my own actions. I just had a client send her husband into my salon and demand a refund for gift cards pre-purchased because of my stance that if you support a racist, homophobic, misogynist rapist, and you're okay with those things because you supported them, that you are in fact those things. And she was so offended.
Well, of course she's offended. You're calling her some of the most vile, awful things in the world. Oh, she's offended. No shit, she's offended. I would be offended too. That's insanity. And I guess I would be offended if I didn't understand that you have to be very intellectually dishonest to think that you're advocating, and even if you think Trump did everything wrong, that by supporting him for president, you are advocating for those things. That is so intellectually dishonest of who Trump supporters are, and that just goes to show you don't really understand Trump supporters. So I don't take offense or insight from people that don't really understand who Trump supporters are. That's difficult. What I will say that I like about this woman is that she came and said, I'm dealing with the responsibility or the repercussions of my own actions. At least you understand that. You get on TikTok a lot of the times, and these whiny people online are like, well, this bad thing is happening to me because of my actions. And I'm like, I don't feel bad for you. But at least in this case, she owns that she did this and that it was probably not good for her business.
By that she said that she did not feel comfortable coming to my salon anymore. And he demanded, and I said, I don't give refunds on gift cards, but he was just being rude. And so I didn't want to deal with him anymore. And I didn't want to deal with them anyway because I knew that whole family were Trump supporters because I've been doing her for 15 years. I've been to her family functions and family events. She's given me gifts over the years.
Wait. So this client has been in this woman's life for a long time, and she's indicated that she's a nice person, a person who you would let into your home or whose home you would go to, who gifts you things, and you took away from that she's an awful person because she voted against or she voted for someone that you don't like. Wouldn't that, if anything, open your eyes to the fact that potentially we might vote differently, we might see the world differently, but there are good people on my opposing side? You would think, right?
She was a very good client. And I knew that she was Republican, which I don't have a problem with you being a Republican. I have a problem with you wanting to strip human rights away from people.
Well, that's where do you start? Where do you start on that and debunking that? You believe that human rights are being stripped away from Donald Trump because the media will portray any Republican, not just Donald Trump, as an individual that is against your values, against your ability to have human rights and human decency. If you would actually sit down and ask people, instead of getting into a screaming match, because I'm sure that's what this woman does, she just wants to get into a screaming match. If you would actually ask a Republican or a Trump voter why they voted for him, I'm sure you would learn a lot. And then give it a couple of weeks when Trump is inaugurated, you're not going to lose any of your rights, okay? You're not. I mean, you're simply not. Also, you live in Idaho, so you must be somewhat okay with conservative values, right?
And now it's become evidently clear that Project 2025 was the agenda, and I will stand up for human rights and suffer those consequences because I will stand up for interracial marriage. I will stand up for same-sex marriage. I will stand up for every right of every trans person in this country. I will stand up for the rights of women and being able to decide their own bodily autonomy for themselves.
Oh my gosh, it's just it reeks of misinformation is not the word. Poor education on what is happening. It is regurgitation of facts, and it happens on both sides. I'm not saying that this is just a problem that liberals face. It is a regurgitation of alleged facts and then speaking it out on the internet without going and fact checking them for themselves. Now, that is why I always advocate that you come to this show, because I will not only see what's on the news, but then I go and double check, fact check it for you. So you can regurgitate what you hear here, but you cannot do that with everything in the media landscape. This is evidence as why you should not do that, right? Because this woman sounds like a moron. I mean, you could debunk literally everything she has to say. We're not getting rid of interracial marriage. That's a lie. We're not getting rid of same sex marriage. That's a lie. Trans people are not losing any purported rights. That's a lie. A lie across the board. Also, the definition of rights, it's such a game of semantics, you know? What is actually an inherent right is in the Constitution. These fake rights to superfluous things that we just put the word rights next to, liberals put the word rights next to so as to get you riled up about it. We really need an actual definition for what human rights are, because human rights are the right to life, liberty, property, etc. And nowhere in there was where the founders like the right for men to be in women's spaces. It's like not a human right, but anyway.
I will stand up for those basic human rights. And if I lose a client because I stand up for human rights and you are offended, which by the way, if you're offended that I said that, you might want to do some inner work, because the racism and the homophobia and the misogyny in this country is so deeply ingrained in your subconscious that you are unwilling to understand anything.
It's always the white women who say this, by the way. Like, not that it makes it any better no matter their skin color, but it's always like the white women who are like, I'm doing this work on myself. I'm internally understanding my internalized bias and my internalized racism and my internalized homophobia. I'm doing the work. I'm virtuous. And I think that's what's like so irritating about this video in general, why it went so viral, is because she's just like seething. It's overwhelming, this idea that she's more virtuous than us. Like, congratulations. You're losing your business. You're losing your business over what? Over your inability to keep your mouth shut? So as a follow-up to this, a few weeks later, this woman posted another video titled "Suffering the Consequences of My Own Actions." She then claimed in this video that she actually needs to apply for jobs at fast food restaurants because she's lost so much of her clientele, but that she at least stands by everything that she said. And again, it's kind of what I was saying at the beginning of this video, that I don't necessarily I don't necessarily feel as bad, because hey, at least she's owning the fact that she's suffering the consequences of her own actions. And those actions were getting on TikTok and going on unhinged political rants. And again, you have the right to say whatever you want to say. If you want to go on unhinged political rants, please be my guest. In fact, I actually think it's really funny when people think that their opinions are so important that they need to share it with everybody over the well-being of their family, because this individual, this woman, is unmarried and has children. And she thought that it would be smart to diminish her business so that she could go off on a rant about Trump. No one cares about your opinion that much. Sorry. No one does. No one cares about the opinion of a salon owner so much that you should risk the well-being of your family. That is entirely stupid. And I don't want to cheer on the demise of a small business. That's not my goal here. I'm not rooting for her downfall. I'm rooting for the downfall of absurd, unhinged political rants that don't move society forward, especially among women. And where I will be critical, though, is that the kids, you have children to provide for, and you couldn't shut your mouth to be quiet to benefit them. I think that makes you a really selfish human. But let me know your thoughts. in the comments.
Thanks so much for watching. If you liked what you heard, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment about how beautiful, stunning, and funny I am. And if you want more content based in logic, be sure to click over here for more videos and clips of my show. If you have the means to financially support the show, consider purchasing from my merch line, Based Apparel, linked right below. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you back here next time. Bye, friends.